best thing to happen to trench coats since the invention of the pervert. Misha Collins!
That's every Saturday.
Yeah, that'd be pretty much. This is one of the rare times that you're actually on time for your panel.
You know what's funny is they get up here, they have this whole shtick they do, like, where's Misha? And the thing is,
started here.
Where I am is I'm finishing up doing the photos or something like I'm doing something that I'm forced to do.
Right.
I got sent at gunpoint, at knife point, and then I don't understand why you guys don't just wait until I'm backstage to start your stupid fucking song.
And thanks for
because
it's a great invitation that him and I.
It's actually more flattering than the actual. Here's what I'm crying foul at you because
what?
You don't. Yes, you're not. You're doing. Sometimes you have to do photos. Sometimes you have to do autos. I get it.
Sometimes.
But you do not have to. I know that you know yourself well enough, and you sometimes I think you specifically time your boots to be right when you're supposed to be coming on this stage.
Okay, that may be true.
Because there's just more than one time where I'm like, we're starting the song, and I'm looking at her list like, where is it? And she's like, he's in the can. I'm like, oh really?
Yeah, it's 2 o'clock.
Yeah. So come on, teamwork. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, ladies and gentlemen.
That reminds me of, where the hell were we? We were at the convention, I think it was Toronto a year ago or something, and you and I came out of the bathroom together, and the handlers were like, and we were chatting, and very casual, and I think the convention was at that point about 4 hours behind, and they were like, Richard, stop talking to him! What are you doing? Get away from him! And what were you doing in there? And you said, it's Misha Collins. He's not going to hold his own penis. The amazing thing about that moment was, excuse me?
Sorry,
What's crazy is that I was right next to that line and I suddenly felt like I shouldn't be in the room.
Everybody, all of the handlers were slack-jawed too, because they were like, oh my God, Richard said something funny. How are you all? Very exciting, back in greater New York,
The lighting is
New Jersey
horrible.
area, tri-state area. What's the last name? This is not the tri-state area. Shut up, Misha. What?
Connecticut.
Is it anything? Connecticut? Why are we leaving Connecticut out and not Pennsylvania, or vice versa? Why is it the quad state? What? This doesn't work.
New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut is the tri-state area.
No, it's New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania.
No, it's not.
Slow down, guys. I want to see a brawl before the end of this. Pennsylvania against the people who live a little closer to Connecticut. They've always hated each other.
On all my news, it's Connecticut.
I believe my very first convention was in New Jersey. Of everyone in this room, I think I'm probably the only one that was there. What?
I was there.
Oh, guys, it's time to move on. Wait, so show me this. Holy hell. Hi. How were those of you who were there? So that was what, 11 years ago? 2009, that's right. That's 15 years ago. Okay. Well, how would you characterize the difference between me then and me now? Just out of curiosity.
Hotter!
Wasn't even there. I think that was the right answer.
You're younger.
Younger? Let's table that one. Yeah, I have some fond memories. We just went and did the adventure meet and greet, which these days is more just like Misha takes the meet and greet to some shitty place. And
Did you set it on
New
fire?
Jersey, when we were in Whippany, New Jersey, we had a couple of really standout meet and greets. One early on, we wound up on the shoulder of a highway. Which was awesome. And everyone was like, really? We're just going to stop here? Yep. Because compared to the location, the conversation will seem okay. And then we went into the woods another time, and it was like, oh, it was also it seemed like we were in maybe like what used to be a landfill. There was garbage everywhere in the woods. It was right next to the hotel where the convention was. And we sat on a log, it was rotten, there were all these bugs crawling all over everyone, and then someone had matches, and so I started a fire. So many people came running out of the hotel with fire extinguishers. Because they have this, I didn't know, but in New Jersey they have this weird thing about forest fires. I'm just trying to think of all of my New Jersey stories so we can get through this hour.
Yeah, you can smell the smoke.
I rode my bike when I was 16 from Massachusetts to Washington, D.C. And along the way, it was bicycle touring, that's what I was doing. And along the way, I was riding and I got to the outskirts of Jersey City. And I had my tent on the back of my bike. Very little money. It's like, it's dusk, but it's not dark. I think I can make it through Jersey City, out to the other side, and then I'll find a place to camp there. And what I didn't know, no one could have known, all of the roads in Jersey City are paved with broken glass. So I got flat tire, and eventually it was pitch dark, and I didn't have lights, and I was on some like freeway on-ramp. I was lost before Google Maps, and I was like, this isn't working. And I ended up in at a motel that only rented rooms by the hour. And I got into my room, and there were ticks crawling on the bed, and then someone knocked on the door, and I opened the door, and there was a guy with a roll of $100 bills in his hands, and he was like, "What can I get you?" And I was like, "There's a tick on my bed. Get rid of that." And he was like, "All right," and he left, and then a prostitute came and knocked on the door, and so I got very little sleep. Something else. What?
I think he said adopt her.
Adopt you? Who said that? Do you currently have legal parents? Are they sitting right there with you? Okay, well that's awkward. They're at a very fun age, very cute, very observant. The other day I tweeted about this case and said, you know, Dad, everyone would say that mermaids are so beautiful with their long flowing hair and their clamshell bras. If you think about it, they probably have sea worms in their hair. And they're wearing nothing, and they're half fish. They're kind of disgusting, actually. She's very insightful like that. What? This doesn't work. Okay, that's enough about it. What would you like to talk about?
Hi, Misha. Hi. So I just wanted to say, I heard you say before that you don't think you deserve to be where you are. And I just wanted to say you absolutely do. You are a wonderful person and you have a lot of discipline.
That is very kind of you to say. And I vacillate about thinking I deserve to be where I am at any given moment. Like, for example, when I was at that motel, I was like, yeah, I deserve this. But thank you. Is that it? That was your question?
I didn't really have a question. I just wanted to tell you that you really do deserve it.
It's way something made up.
Now we have this awkward. This awkward thing where a jacket that's too warm that I was using to cover up the fact that I had big sweat stains. It's just compounding the problem. By the way, I'm sorry to everybody who took a photo with me earlier.
Just want to tell you that you're a great actor. Happy you didn't get killed off the show yet.
Well, I have been killed many times, but
Yeah, but you always come back, so it doesn't, you know.
yeah, who cares, right?
I just want to know if there's anything you wish Castiel had done differently throughout the series of the show.
I think in a perfect world, I think Castiel would have had a higher pitched voice. That was a mistake. Terrible, terrible mistake. Most of you have heard this story, but those of you who haven't are going to be in for a pretty boring story. When I first joined Supernatural, in the very first script where Castiel appears, he's trying to communicate with Dean, and he's not yet taken human form, and when he tries to communicate with Dean, windows break and televisions explode, and burn out the old lady's eyes. No, that's not true, right? Wrong. That's when she saw me, but we're talking about my voice. Don't distract me. So I thought, well then Castiel has to have this like deep, commanding voice. It would break windows. Or as it turns out, just break my own vocal cords, because I thought I was doing 3 episodes of Supernatural and it turned into my entire adult life. And I haven't talked like that for the last dozen years. But when I did that, there's maybe a little bit of poetic justice in it, because when I started doing that deep voice, Jensen was like, oh, does this guy have more testosterone than me? He started to do a deep voice too, so now, because he's so competitive, he had 12 years of a deep voice as well. So that was sort of satisfying. So that's one thing that I would do differently. I think I would also maybe have Castiel be human for longer. I really liked that arc, but I felt like we didn't get to explore that story enough. Like the process of discovering what it's like to be a human being and all of the pitfalls along the way, I think could have been interesting to explore more. We got to see like, oh, what's it like when you learn how to brush your teeth for the first time as an adult? You just eat a tube of toothpaste. But I think that there were a lot of potentially emotional storylines or arcs about like relating to other human beings as a human being that we didn't get to explore that could have been interesting. And yeah, there were a lot of things that we explored. Like Cassian's food poisoning for the first time. Well, what's that about? And he can't find a bathroom. You know, that could have been an entire episode.
I just want to say thanks.
Thank you.
Hi.
Be careful, by the way, when you put your phone down around here. I was on set 2 days ago, and I was reading an article, which, by the way, everyone should look up. It's really important and fascinating in these trying times. It's important to stay informed. And there's an article in the New York Times about how to cook the perfect hard-boiled egg. And I was like, I can't believe I've gone through life not knowing this. And I was showing Frida, who's in the makeup department, and I was like, here, and they said, come to set, first team on set. And I was like, okay, don't tweet anything, leaving you with this. I trust you, trust me, and I believe her. And then I left, and Jason Cicchini, Jared's stand-in, as soon as I went out the door, just grabbed the phone from her and started doing terrible, terrible things on the biggest, the text thread with the most people he could find. Many of whom were just numbers with no names, like I don't know who those people are. And they got some very offensive images from me. I'm sure there will be fallout from that for years to come. But you didn't ask about that.
But don't you have a password like that? How can he get in your phone?
I just explained the whole story. Frida was reading the article on my phone.
Oh, and he's
Yeah.
But this has happened a lot.
Okay. I wasn't really asking for feedback just now.
He's been talking about it.
I remember when we were at Comic-Con, so at Comic-Con, we have a sort of different setup at San Diego Comic-Con. We do 100 autographs that are for people that stand in line all night long. Totally worth it. But we're standing sort of right next to each other in this semicircle table. And I set my phone down while I was signing. And apparently I had just checked my messages or something because it wasn't yet locked. That minute hadn't passed. And Jared was signing, he just grabbed the phone and then tweeted at Comic-Con, I hate fans. And then, oops, that was supposed to be a text.
Yeah, gotta get in the habit of blocking.
That
Right
went
away.
over really well, let me tell you. Yes, I do have to get in that habit. Thank you again, I didn't ask for feedback. You have a question?
I was gonna ask.
But you changed your mind?
If you had any tattoos, or if you were going to get any in the future, and what would it be?
Do you have any tattoos?
A few.
I can't see you.
You can come.
Walk through the alleyway. Just looking for your information.
I don't have any tattoos. I'm sorry to report. I have a couple of like early teenage childhood angst scars where I like tried to carve tattoos into my body. Like I thought it was cool. did a peace symbol. And then, because I'm really existential, the word why, with a question mark, on my calf. Those are very faded though, they're pretty hard to make out at this point. And after I carved Y on my leg, I was like, shit, why did I do that? Actually, it's funny, that day, it was me and my younger brother, we were like carving, making tattoos into ourselves, and then for some reason we high-fived, but we high-fived while he was holding the X-Acto knife. So actually, that's where my big scar is. He just plunged the knife into my hand. We were smart. So, my wife and I were planning to get tattoos. We are planning to. It's something that we've been talking about for a long time, but we haven't gotten around to. And they're related to stories and to our children. And I'm going to tell you both. Wes was born in the year of the white tiger, and which I guess occurs like once every 50 years. And I think it's a feature of Korean culture. But Vicky, which we went to a 10-day silent meditation retreat, and she had this very strong vision of a white tiger crawling out of her back. And then Wes was born subsequently in the year of the white tiger. She was like, this is meaningful to me. I'm going to get a tattoo of a white tiger. And then before I shared that story publicly, a fan drew this made this incredible painting that they gave to me at a convention of Vicky standing on a A-frame ladder, like in a subway, painting a mural of a white tiger. And it was like, it was a truly beautiful painting, but it was also really, it was like, okay, there's a lot of signs here that she should get, or maybe that she will be killed by a white tiger, I don't know. And then when Mason was born, West immediately, he was 2, and he immediately gave her a nickname, which was Sockeye, which has nothing to do with the name Mason or any way. We had no idea why he was calling her Sockeye. He was calling her Sockeye. And then shortly after that, me and my friend Darius were we were bicycle touring on the Olympic Peninsula, and we had just ridden through the town of Forks, Washington, which is way out. It's where Twilight is set. And we were on this, in the town of Forks, Washington. We were like, went into a grocery store, what would be nice right now? It would be nice to get some salmon. And so we went looking around the grocery store, and they just had these like really desiccated, frozen little nuggets of salmon. And that wasn't really what we had in mind. And so we asked this woman that was in the freezer section, do you know where we can get some salmon in town? And she said, no, there's nowhere. And then she walked away, and then she came back, and she's like, I just went to the food bank, and a fisherman had brought in these big fillets of fresh sockeye salmon, and I feel like I have to give it to you. It's just too weird that you asked me that. And we were like, sweet, yeah, you did. So we took this salmon, we put it on the back of our bikes, and then we started riding again. And we went down this road and up this mountain, and coming down the mountain, it was this huge hill, and we decided to race each other. We were going as fast as we possibly could, and hit each other. Because we forgot that we had saddlebags on our bikes, so we were too close together. And we had a crash. And it was a terrible accident. Darius was unconscious in the ditch. I was like just covered in blood. And then when he woke up, he couldn't remember where we were. He had amnesia, and I was in shock. And it was this, we were standing there on this road in the middle of nowhere, and no cars came by. Finally a car came by. It's this big old Lincoln Continental. And I was like, help, in my bike shorts, covered in blood, friend lying on the ground. And he stopped. I was like, can you take us to, a hospital or something, because there's no self-service out there? And he's like, no, I'm sorry, I just went to Costco and my back seat's full. It was fucking full of toilet paper, and he drove away. Eventually, we did get to a hospital, but in the process, the salmon was left in the ditch. And
we had this very sort of profound moment of realizing that we made this into a symbolic story for ourselves, which is that life sometimes hands you these gifts from out of nowhere. And you have to be there and be ready to take those gifts and not squander them. And that really stuck. So the tattoo that I eventually am going to get is a sockeye sail.
Hi. So I just wanted to ask, since supernatural I think has changed all of our lives and your guys' lives, what's the one thing you're going to take away from being part of the supernatural family?
Probably one of the Impalas. Thank you. Over Jensen's dead body, but. Well, supernatural has changed my life in a lot of ways. What am I going to take away from it? Hopefully a lot of gratitude for all of the good things that it has brought, not only to me, but I think to the world. I feel like I'm walking this tightrope and talking about the end of the show because I don't want to be too precious about it. After all, it's just a sci-fi TV show. Sci-fi TV shows come and go, and it's really easy when you're a part of something to feel like it's the most important thing in the world. But there's also a part of me that knows that this is unusual, and the community that we built, and this fandom, and the charitable impact that we have collectively had on the world is pretty impressive. And the way I honestly feel like this fandom has almost created a template of the ideal fandom, because not only does this fandom embrace the mythology of the TV show that it's coalesced around, but it's also formed this incredibly supportive network for one another. I see people in the supernatural fandom taking care of each other all the time in really meaningful ways. And that's really lovely. It's in the truest sense of the word, it's a community. And that is a template that I think any fandom of any show or musician should strive to emulate. And at the same time, we're taking care of one another. There's a lot of real generosity from this fandom to the outside world as well. We've managed to do some really cool projects together and raise a lot of money for really good causes. And I think people take the seed, I think a lot of people in this community take the seed of our community ethos of watching out for each other and being kind out in the world and have a net positive impact on the world, which is pretty impressive if you think about it, because it's a show about two Texans who run around shooting things. And yet I think it's really been a force for good in the world. Yeah, I don't know. I guess that this community is what I hope to bring with me into the next chapter of my life. And I certainly hope that it doesn't go away as the show goes off the air. I hope that this family, it's a lifestyle, yes. It's not a choice.